Now to the Russian attack on our elections and the efforts to protect your vote. You know, the Department of Homeland Security is apparently playing catch-up, as it says fewer than half the states have gotten an on-site risk assessment that they've asked for, all on their vulnerability to another potential attack on their election systems. Some states, though, have been taking steps themselves to protect their systems, like Illinois, where officials say Russian hackers hit tens of thousands of voters back in the 2016 presidential election, many of those folks in one city alone. Galesburg, Illinois, a typical small town nestled in the flat farmlands of the Midwest. The Amtrak train to Chicago stops here 3 times a day. But this unassuming slice of the American heartland, the site of an Abraham Lincoln-Stephen Douglas debate in 1858, was, in the last presidential election, invaded by the Russians. The FBI and the Department of Homeland Security say the state's voter registration rolls were hacked by Russian intelligence.
In a sense, it's a declaration of war. It's a cyber war.
Stephen Sandvoss, the supervisor of the Illinois State Board of Elections, says the attack lasted for weeks.
When a foreign government attacks your system, obviously they're up to no good. And elections being, central part of our democracy, being attacked by a foreign government, I think everybody in the country should be concerned about that.
As the national debate over election security focuses on ways to protect the integrity of our election system, Sandvoss and state officials know firsthand what it's like to be targeted by Moscow. He says hackers struck the state's voter rolls starting in June of 2016, in the heat of the presidential election, at one point hitting the system 5 times per second. In some cases, voter names, addresses, the last 4 digits of Social Security numbers, and other personal voting information were accessed. The board says up to 76,000 voter registrations were breached, with the greatest concentration, 14,121, in the city of Galesburg. That, almost half the city's population. Galesburg Mayor John Pritchard takes it in stride.
The Russians would be making a serious mistake if they came here with hostile intentions.
The hackers apparently stumbled on the city's 9-digit voter computer number randomly. While he says there is no evidence any vote was changed, the fact that the Russians could gain access is alarming.
We probably don't take kindly to outside interference into our political process.
The feds trace the attack to 7 IP addresses in the Netherlands, including 2 groups they say are linked to Russian intelligence.
I certainly don't want to be on the front lines of any cyber war. We're as prepared as we can be.
Officials say they have now employed numerous defenses to guard voter information, including downloading daily antivirus protections and monitoring servers.
Overall, people trust the process, and I think people are more vigilant now than ever.
State Senator Michael Hastings chairs the Cyber Committee and has held hearings on securing the voting system. Hastings knows firsthand the privilege that voting represents. He is a 37-year-old graduate of West Point and was deployed to Iraq.
I'm not angry at the outcome of the election. I was more concerned about the security of our democracy. Serving overseas in Iraq, serving in the military for 10 years, I believe that voting is a sacred right for all Americans. And I want to make sure that Illinois residents feel safe and secure in casting their vote for whatever candidate they choose, whoever that may be. And having these investigations to provide the assurances to Illinois residents that our voter systems are secure, or they will be secure, is of the utmost importance to me.
He now battles any cyber enemy that has attacked his state and country.
People forget what makes this country great. And the fact that we're a democracy, and the fact that I fought to protect our democracy, I hold it very sacred, and I'll do anything I can to protect it.
That's State Senator Michael Hastings. Well, election officials across the country are now on guard for more possible Russian hacking this year. Less than 2 weeks ago, the website that reported election results in Knox County, Tennessee, it crashed on Election Day. Officials there say several foreign countries did access their site. They say it was a, quote, malicious intrusion that most likely caused that problem. And they say the malicious intrusion came from Ukraine. So it certainly continues.